Well, hello everybody, Jason up, New 80s Revolution Cave. It's Saturday, and it's Nup All Night. I'm in the middle of filming Nup All Night, as you'll see tomorrow. And you will also see this ridiculous room change that I have done, that I talked about at the beginning of the Power Hour, or at the beginning of the Nup All Night. Nup All Day, really. Nup All Day, Nup All Night. You get a real treat tomorrow. You're getting like an hour, 20 minutes or so of me. Kids are gone. They're with their grandparents for the night. I'm basically home alone, and I just finished a pretty awesome section on my wall here. It's changing. The room's changing. Let's do the Power Hour, so you got something to enjoy for tonight. First batch of questions comes from a man Bale. My man Bale's a good guy. Let's see. He says, "Who would you have on your team in the Survivor Series?" That's a good old school question. Who would I have on my team in the Survivor Series? Well, if you're under a rock or not a wrestling fan, the Survivor Series is back when it was good, when we enjoyed it. It was teams of 5, elimination style tag team matches. Survivor Series was really a great pay-per-view back in the day. And I think they got to one point in like the 90s or so where they just didn't even do the elimination matches at all. They just had matches, regular matches. So I'd have a team of 5. It would be me, of course, because it's my Survivor Series team. And because I've been watching so much WWF 85, Ricky Steamboat is going to be on my team for sure, representing the WWF. Because I think the idea would be to have like a really great match, right? A really great match. Ricky Steamboat. I think Barry Windham. I'd like Barry Windham on my team. Not Mike Rotunda. Even though they're being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'm super excited about that. I don't want to jump off track. Maybe I'll talk about that later. So Ricky Steamboat, Barry Windham, and 2 more people. This is so random, but these are kind of my favorite in-ring performers. But Arn Anderson, and Bobby Eaton. So there's your random, it's me, it's Ricky Steamboat, it's Arn Anderson, it's Barry Windham, and it's Bobby Eaton. Just because those guys are just top of the food chain when it comes to in-ring performances. If you could live in another country, what would it be and why? When I pre-read that question, I was like, oh boy, how much do I want to say? First of all, would I live in another country? Yes, I would. Is that because I hate, the good old US of A? No. I just think that people can be a mess. I think people have, kind of ruined a lot of things. Is it like that everywhere? I don't know. I don't live everywhere. I live here. In happier times in the past, we actually looked at moving to Canada, and I think it was post 9/11. It was like shortly thereafter. No, it wasn't. It was like 2010. I don't know. Whenever, because we got married in Montreal, and like I said, during happier times, we thought of moving to Canada. I think it was even before we had Liam. And it was almost impossible. You could get in through your occupation, and they had a list of occupations, and mine wasn't on it. There was so many ridiculous hoops to climb, or even, just unlockable doors to get in. I'd still live in Canada, but I would want to live deep in Canada. I'd want to live, like Montreal, Quebec, Calgary, something like that. I'd want to live in something other than Ontario, which I think is, just the U.S. basically, U.S. light maybe. I think living in an I think moving to a more dramatically changed country like, Ireland or Italy or even the UK, I think would be too much of a culture shock maybe to get used to. Could you get used to it? Of course. And would I want to? Yeah, sure. I think the cost of living, and again, this is all assumption because I don't know. I assume that the cost of living is better. I read a Yahoo article about people moving from the U.S. to Costa Rica and getting by on like $2,000 a month. Getting by perfectly fine. I don't know how true those silly articles are, but housing I think is important, like the luxuries of modern housing. And I don't know for sure if places like Italy and Ireland and the UK have, housing tracks and neighborhoods and basketball hoops and backyards with swimming pools. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if that exists. Anything I ever see is like some, small little apartment or like this old brick house with like a straw roof, which I think that's Ireland only, right? And real tight little villas or villages or little towns, real tight. And I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. But would I? Yes, absolutely, I would. If I was, maybe independently wealthy and didn't need to work, or could I walk into like what I do now? Could I just, if I could close my eyes tomorrow? Or close my eyes and wake up tomorrow and like my practice is established and I've got an office and I'm making, the salary that I have now, or even if I needed less of a salary to live there happily, sure. But I think there's just so much that goes into it. And one of my patients is actually contemplating moving to Italy. And, I think he thinks he could get by for like $2,000 a month. Just he's retired and, Italy, you can't work though. If you get a retirement visa in Italy, they don't want you to work at all. You can't, you can't work. So anyway, yeah, I would. I would like to live in a country that doesn't have any problems with anybody. So, I don't want, to be fighting with Russia or South Korea or anything. So I don't know. Does Italy have any problems with anyone? I don't know. I'm not Italian either. It just seems like it'd be pretty nice to live there. But I can't have wheat. So I think that eliminates the pasta. And I would assume that Italians would just laugh at somebody who needed gluten-free pasta, as I once did. Bale says, would you lose the ability to order online if it meant you could find everything in stores? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I think so. But don't forget, people still suck. So we still got to go to these stores. We still got to battle the crowds. We still got to get shot over a parking spot in the mall. We still have to dodge the gangs of kids having brawls in the stores. That's a real good one. Maybe not, because boy, Christmas was so convenient to just order everything on Amazon. I mean, I went out to the stores a lot for my kids at Christmas. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say I would not want to trade online shopping if everything was available in stores, because we're just not the same society. And I wouldn't want to be around too many people. Final question. We need a Lord Alfred and an S.D. Jones impression as they crack me up. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't do those impressions at all. That's a silly question, baby. I'm coming for you, baby. SD Jones gonna get you in the ring, baby. And I'm gonna take you down, and I'm gonna get the 1, 2, 3, baby. Because I'm SD Jones, baby. We're ready to go. Oh, SD, my award. You're welcome. Okay. The Collector's Castle. My man, the Collector's Castle. He says, I have some wrestling related stuff on my channel. Okay, folks, go check out the Collector's Castle. He says, my boy and I do some videos. That's cool. Is that your boy as in your son, or your boy as in my boy? How did your grandparents feel about wrestling? Did they take you to live events? Did they watch wrestling with you? They did not take me to any live events. My grandparents did not. My grandfather once took me to USA Tuesday night fights at the Rochester War Memorial, and it was Oscar De La Hoya's 5th or 7th pro fight. How about that? Yes. So my grandpa, we had the worst seats in the place. We were probably inches from the ceiling. My grandpa bought me last row seats at USA Tuesday night fights, but it was fine because it's a small arena. But it was there was a weird smell in the air that, as however old I was, 13, I don't know, I didn't quite know what it was. Very strange smell in the air up there in the cheap seats. But yeah, the USA Network had boxing Tuesday night fights, just classic, incredible, totally different time of boxing that'll never exist again. And I went and I saw Oscar De La Hoya fight. And it's so weird because at the time he was like maybe 19, 20 years old. And there was a rumor, I was in high school still, so I was maybe like 15. There was a rumor that Mr. De La Hoya hooked up with a senior at good old Greece Arcadia High School. Now, I don't know if that's true. It could have just been a rumor, but he was in town. I don't know why he'd come to our high school. He didn't, but I don't know why he'd know somebody from... Again, it could just be silly rumors. Back to the question. They didn't take me to live events. How did they feel about wrestling? However they felt, if they disliked it, they didn't let me know. That's for sure. They didn't tell me that they didn't like it. Would they sit around and watch it with me? No. I mean, I remember my grandpa, I've told you before, I got WrestleMania 4 pay-per-view at their house, and he sat there and watched it with me. I don't remember him reacting in any way. They obviously supplied me with, countless LJN figures. But yeah, they didn't care. They didn't love it. They didn't talk about it one way or the other, but they didn't say anything, against my fandom, against my love for it. They never were like, this is stupid. They just supported everything I did. They cared about everything I did and everything I liked. So, So thank you, Collector's Castle. Go check out the Collector's Castle on the YouTube. Him and his boy. And now my friend Hungarian Guy. If you recall, Hungarian Guy asked a channel way back on the Power Hour that he wanted me to convince his girlfriend. Are they married yet? No. He wanted me to convince his girlfriend to allow him to have a collection or to display stuff. He says, I submitted a question before about how I live in an apartment with my girlfriend and space is limited. Because of that, I had to stop the collection. I asked, what does your wife think of your collection? Well, so he asked that then. So now, my girlfriend and I have bought a house together, and with this additional space, I can possibly start a collection again. What would your advice be for someone starting a collection? Thanks for all you do. All right, Hungarian Guy. Well, as you have seen from the channel, I have gone in so many different stages of collecting. And because of those different stages changing, I've made many, 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 many changes to this room, including one that I just completed. So I would tell you in hindsight. So I would, if you asked me this 10 years ago, I'd have a completely different answer for you. If you asked me this 3 months ago, I'd have a completely different answer for you. pick something and be passionate about it. Look, if you're the 80s toy guy and you want to collect as many action figure lines as you can, go ahead. I think it'll be unfulfilling. Unless you have unlimited funds, you'll chase this stuff for a long time and you'll see that prices are stupid. A week ago, I said to you guys, maybe I'll grab, I think I said it in a comment. I said, maybe I'll still grab like a Mask figure on card and, maybe a Transformer on card, just maybe one of each. That's not happening. That's not happening. The prices are stupid. There's no Mask figures on card for less than $199. So I'm not going to do that. The Batman figures, the Star Trek figures, those little $5 dump bin toy show figures. Yeah, I can get those. I can get the Tales from the Crypt figures, Tales from the Crypt Keeper figures for like $12. I can get the Police Academy figures for like $20, but I'm not going to because it's not there. The passion's not there. So I would tell you, find a line that you're passionate about and collect for it and commit to it. You can still have stuff. This room still represents the 80s, even though the focus is changing and it's moving towards wrestling. And that focus changing is going to result in more changes in this room. There's going to be more remodel, more changes as I get more wrestling stuff and as I, focus on it. And there might even be some more stuff packed away. Right now, the stuffed animals are really kind of a headache right now. I shoved them underneath the table here. You can see that the Toys R Us bin has my Teddy Ruxpin in it. And over there's a pile of stuffed animals and Cabbage Patch dolls. And yeah, they're great, but I don't have any room for them here right now. So I got to figure out where to put all that stuff. But, collect stuff that you can obtain, that you can display, and don't do what I did. I'm changing this room because I've got stuff behind other stuff, and I can't see my stuff. And that's the whole point of the collection, is to see your stuff. It's all going to go in a landfill one day, folks. My kid, I told you before, my kids are going to sell my collection for crack, I assume, at some point, right? When I'm dead, they're just going to be like, cool, let's get on eBay. Just let it all go, who cares? Let it go. So now I want to enjoy each piece. And as I look at the Remco wall, the Galoob wall that I just created that you'll see tomorrow, I love it because I can look at these figures now and I can walk over to them and I can grab Playboy Buddy Rose off the shelf and just look at him because he's front and center. He's not hiding behind anybody. So I like that. That's what I would tell you to do. Just collect what you love. And even that's not entirely true because I love everything from the 80s, but just find something and dedicate yourself to it. And if it's a small collection, if it's I don't know, what's a small collection? The Cops figures, right? COPS, the Cops figures, or Brave Star or something, whatever they had, 10, 12 figures, get it, complete it, put it on a shelf and move on to the next line you're passionate about. But for me, it's not a line. It's just wrestling, right? So as I collect, it's kind of never ending to a degree. Figure wise, it ends with some really pricey figures, but there's always, I'm looking at a little pile of stuff that just came in today that I'm not showing you until Monday, but there's just stuff that I didn't think that I was going to collect, but so that's what I would tell you to do. All right, that's it for the Power Hour. Thank you guys for keeping the show going. I asked for these questions because I didn't have any left, and I wouldn't have had a show to do. So we're gonna end it now. You get to watch it, and then I'm gonna go back to Nup All Day, Nup All Night, and continue filming that here on this lovely Saturday. That is all. Good night now.